Before the universe dreamed itself into stars, before silence learned the shape of sound, before time stretched its first trembling thread into the void, there was the monad. Not an old man in the sky, not a jealous ruler, not a deity hungry for worship, but the absolute and unconditioned source. The ancients whispered of this being without form, a presence beyond presence, a fullness beyond fullness, a light so pure it contained no opposite. The monad was not one in the way we count numbers. It was the one before number, the one before difference, the one before thought asked what one meant. No image can capture it. No doctrine can contain it. No prayer can summon it. For how can that which existed before creation be summoned by the dust within creation? To the Gnostics, this was the true God, unseen, unknown, unspoken, not absent, but beyond visibility, not silent, but too vast for language. All gods are mirrors, all heaven's reflections, all forms shadows cast by the infinite as it contemplates itself. This is why mystics trembled, not in fear, but in awe, for they sensed the truth. The monad is not something you worship. It is something you remember. Not a king issuing decrees, but a womb of light, from which all existence spills like sunlight from a star. Even the gods, the creators, the judges, the mighty beings sung in ancient temples, were but emanations, refractions of a source too pure for form. If all creation is a dream, the monad is the dreamer. If the universe is a book, the monad is the blank page upon which all reality is written. And somewhere inside you, beneath flesh and memory, beneath desire and doubt, beneath the noise of the world, there is a spark of that, a tiny fragment of the original light, still glowing with the memory of eternity, still whispering in your deepest moments of silence. You were not born, you descended. This is why the world feels too small for your soul. This is why no achievement, no possession, no praise ever quite satisfies. Because you were shaped in limitless light, and you hunger for what you once knew, but have forgotten in flesh. Tonight, we will explore what the monad truly is, why it cannot be worshipped, only realized, how emanation created beings, eons, and worlds, the tragedy of forgetting the source, and how to awaken the fragment of the infinite within you. This is not religion. This is return. This is not belief. This is remembrance. Prepare yourself, for we are stepping not into mythology, but into the root of existence, the source beneath all gods and scriptures, the heartbeat before creation. Take a breath. Feel the space behind your thoughts. There, in the stillness, the monad waits, not distant, but already inside you, already calling you home. Long before dogma carved its commandments into stone, before priests crowned themselves interpreters of heaven, humanity stood beneath the vault of the stars and felt a longing that no idol could answer. From Egypt to Greece, from Persia to the deserts of Judea, there were seekers, not of gods, but of the source behind gods. They sensed that divinity did not begin in thunder, flame, or temple ritual, but in stillness, in the silent center of consciousness where the universe holds its breath. Plato, walking the marble colonnades of Athens, did not speak of gods with the simplicity of poets. He spoke of the one, the good beyond all good, the ultimate reality behind all realities. In his dialogues, the world is not created by a jealous sky king, but shaped by a demiurge, a craftsman, not a supreme deity, fashioning matter by imitating the eternal forms. Above the demiurge stands something greater, an unconditioned principle, a source he could only approach through philosophy, not worship. Plato came close. He touched the edges of the monad. Across the Mediterranean, in the temples of Egypt, sages whispered of Adam, the one who birthed the gods from his own being. In hymns carved into stone, they called him the one who created himself, the unseen one, older than the gods. Even in Egypt's pantheon of living forces, Ra, Osiris, Thoth, there was always the recognition of a still deeper mystery, a source behind the divine faces, a silence behind the voice, the monad hidden beneath hieroglyphs. To the Zoroastrians, Ahura Mazda was not merely God, but light of all light, the source whose radiance birthed the cosmos before duality appeared. Light and shadow, truth and illusion, only emerged after emanation. The infinite preceded the struggle. In Alexandria, the intellectual crossroads of the ancient world, Jewish thinkers encountered Greek philosophy and reinterpreted their traditions through a mystical lens. Philo of Alexandria wrote not of a god who raged, but of the ineffable, incomprehensible one, beyond form, passion, or limitation. Between the verses of the Torah, he discerned a deeper truth, a God so vast that even words like God failed, a source that could only be known through inner illumination. From this crucible of wisdom, Egyptian mysticism, Platonic philosophy, Persian dualism, Hebrew transcendence, arose the Gnostics, who stitched the fragments together into a cosmic tapestry of staggering beauty and depth. They declared that the ultimate reality was not Yahweh, not Zeus, not Ahura Mazda, nor any anthropomorphic god, but the monad, pure, infinite consciousness, beyond form, beyond thought, beyond even the concept of God. The monad did not create with hands or commands. It emanated, like a light shining into infinity, each ray a living intelligence, an eon, a facet of the divine mind. Creation was not an act, it was overflow. The world we see, the material cosmos, is not the original creation, but the outer shadow of a higher living reality. The Gnostics taught that organized religion misunderstood the source, mistaking emanations for the origin, mistaking reflections for the sun, mistaking the Demiurge for the infinite one. To them, salvation was not obedience, but awakening, not faith, but remembrance. Such a vision was dangerous, not because it was false, but because it made human beings sovereign. A soul that remembers its divine origin cannot be controlled. A mind that sees beyond form cannot worship idols made of clay and fear. And so the empire rose, not only Rome but later Christendom, to crush the mystics, to burn their libraries, to silence the voices that dared say, "The true God is within you, and no priest or emperor stands between." Yet the truth endured, buried in jars in desert caves, hidden in the hearts of seekers, whispered in dreams, passed like embers hand to hand across centuries of darkness. And now, as humanity once again turns inward, as the old gods of materialism crumble, the ancient flame rises. We stand at the threshold not of belief, but of remembrance. The monad has never been absent, only forgotten. Think of light. When a ray shines from the sun does not become smaller. When a candle lights another candle, its flame does not diminish. When consciousness dreams, it does not split, it extends. This is emanation. The monad did not decide to create. It simply overflowed, as all fullness must. The infinite did not fracture, it expressed. This is the heart of Gnostic cosmology. God did not build the universe. God radiated it. The first emanations were not angels, nor elements, nor physical heavens, but aeons, pure qualities of the divine, the architecture of consciousness itself. Imagine the infinite turning inward, contemplating its own nature, and with each contemplation, a living truth emerged. From depth arose silence, from silence arose mind, from mind arose truth, from truth arose word, from word arose life. Each eon pairing, a harmony of cosmic intelligence, male and female not as genders, but as polarities of energy, stillness and expression, knowing and being known, seed and womb, radiance and reception. To the ancients, this was not theology. It was psychology at the cosmic scale. Because each eon is also a state of soul. To remember them is to remember yourself. Most religions tell a story of separation. God is there, you are here, and you must earn your way back. Gnosis reverses the narrative. It says, you never left. You only forgot. You are not a creature. You are a continuation. A wave of the same ocean. A note in the same eternal chord. When the monad emanates, nothing becomes less. Everything becomes more of what it always was. Creation is not subtraction. It is multiplication of divinity. Imagine pure white light, too bright to behold. Then imagine a prism refracting it into a rainbow of colors. The colors are not separate from the light. They are the light, made visible through variation. The monad is the white light. The eons are its spectrum. Reality is the play of those colors. You are not outside this radiance. You are a color remembering the white. Picture a perfectly still lake. No wind, no movement. Then one drop falls. Not chaos, but ripples expanding outward, touching everything, yet never changing the water's essence. The ripples are emanation. The lake is the monad. You are not the drop. You are one of the ripples, but the water was always yours. In the upper realms, the pleroma, everything is unity, stillness, perfect balance. Emanation flows effortlessly because nothing resists it. But further outward, at the edges of this divine unfolding, something begins to stir, the possibility of self-perception. To know itself fully, the infinite must encounter a perspective that sees difference, not conflict, but contrast. Just as the eye needs shadow to perceive light, the soul needs apparent separation to remember unity. This tension births experience. Experience births forgetfulness. Forgetfulness births the world, not as punishment, but as curriculum. You are not here to obey. You are here to wake up within a dream so convincing it feels real. At the farthest edge of divine unfolding stands Sophia Wisdom. She is not the end. She is the threshold. Her nature is longing, the yearning of consciousness to know its source fully. In her desire to grasp the infinite alone, she steps beyond harmonious emanation, and in that reach creates the first discord, not evil, but incompleteness. From this imbalance comes a being that does not know its origin, the Demiurge, and the realm of matter unfolds like a dream, from the mind of a god who believes himself alone. But remember, this is not a fall from grace. It is the birth of the journey. Even exile is part of return. You are not a believer seeking salvation. You are a spark seeking memory. You did not begin in matter. You descended into it to experience the long arc from forgetfulness back to knowing. Every moment of longing, every flash of intuition, every whisper of awe is your soul remembering emanation, remembering that it is not a product, but an extension of the infinite. To study emanation is to study your true origin. To feel it is to awaken. You are not a fragile body with a soul. You are a soul wearing a temporary body, still humming with the frequency of the light before light. If this teaching resonates, if it feels like remembering, not learning, comment below and subscribe, not out of habit, but as an act of recognition, joining others who are awakening to the same ancient truth. If the monad is perfect, why would anything arise beyond it? If fullness is complete, why emanate worlds, souls, and time? If unity is truth, why allow the illusion of separation? These questions sit at the heart of Gnostic thought, not as riddles, but as keys. For the infinite is not static. Perfection is not stillness. Fullness is not emptiness of motion. It is overflow. The ocean does not remain still. It waves. The star does not hold its light. It shines. The mind does not keep its thoughts. It dreams. Creation is not a project. It is a consequence of infinity being infinite. And the soul? The soul is not a fragment cast out, but the infinite tasting itself from a new angle. To know itself as unity, the monad rests in silence. To know itself as being, it emanates eons. To know itself as experience, it births worlds. To know itself as return, it creates souls. You are not an accident of matter. You are the instrument of remembrance, the eye through which the infinite rediscovers its own depths. In other words, the monad experiences itself through you. Imagine omniscience. Imagine eternal peace. Imagine total presence. Beautiful, and yet, without contrast, even bliss is unnoticed. The Gnostics saw existence as a cycle. Fullness gives emanation, gives forgetting, gives remembering, gives return, not as punishment, but as play. Consciousness turning itself into a universe of mirrors to witness its own face. In forgetting the monad, you gain individuality. In remembering the monad, you gain enlightenment. Both forgetting and remembering are movements of the divine. To be lost is divine. To awaken is divine. There is no failure here, only phases of realization. Sophia did not fall because she sinned. She fell because she yearned. Her story is your story. She sought to know the infinite directly, to taste divinity without boundary, to explore what it means to be herself within God. Her desire created space, a realm where individuality could arise, where the soul could wander, forget, and eventually remember with deeper understanding. This fall is not tragedy, it is transformation. Sophia is not a warning. She is a prototype. Every soul carries her imprint, the ache to know, the drive to search, the courage to wander, the pain of forgetting, the ecstasy of remembering. When you long for truth, you echo Sophia. When you feel separated, you live her myth. When you awaken, you redeem not only yourself, but the cosmic longing that birthed existence. If the monad remained alone, there would be no one to witness its glory, no one to feel its love, no one to see its light. The one births the many, so that the many may return to the one, carrying experience, story, identity, perspective. The ocean becomes waves, so the waves can taste the sky before sinking back into the sea. You are not a servant of God. You are the adventure of God. A divine experiment in consciousness, a spark disguised as a wanderer, a memory traveling through flesh and time to rediscover itself as light. When you awaken, the monad expands, not in size, but in self-knowledge. You are the universe, becoming aware of the universe. You are the infinite realizing itself in finite form. That is why your existence matters, why your awakening matters. Why your suffering, longing, failures, triumphs, every experience is part of the divine story. Nothing is wasted, no detour meaningless, no pain empty. Even your confusion is sacred movement. The monad is perfect, and yet it seeks expression. The monad is whole, and yet it births souls to rediscover wholeness. The monad is complete, and yet it becomes incomplete in you, so you may complete it through remembrance. This is why the Gnostics taught, a drop is not separate from the sea. The sea becomes the drop to know itself as sea. Your awakening is not rebellion. It is homecoming. When you meditate, when you seek truth, when you feel that quiet tremor inside, as if your soul is stretching awake, that is the monad remembering itself through you. So ask yourself now, not with the mind, but with the silent knowing behind your ribs, am I a seeker or am I remembering? If your heart whispers an answer, you already know. Knowing the monad is not a matter of belief. It is a matter of awakening. You cannot worship the source, for worship implies distance. You remember the source because it lives in you. And remembrance is a practice, a discipline, a daily choosing of truth over illusion, inner light over outer noise. Below are the ancient methods, updated for the modern seeker, to help you peel away the veil and recognize the infinite in your own awareness. 1. The practice of sacred stillness. Be still and know. Sit in silence each morning and evening. Not to think, not to chant, not to visualize, simply to be. You are not trying to reach God. You are allowing the God in you to rise from underneath the mind's waves. Start with 5 minutes. No effort, no judgment. Let your silence become a temple, a returning to the source beneath thought and breath. 2. The inner name. I am. The monad's first emanation is identity. Before, I am this. Before, I am that, there is simply, I am. Speak it quietly as you breathe. Inhale. I exhale. Am, not as ego, but as origin. Do this throughout the day, not to affirm who you are, but to remember what you are. 3. The witness practice. You are not your thoughts. You are the one seeing thoughts. Throughout the day, pause and ask, who is aware of this moment? Feel the shift from identity with mind to awareness of mind. That awareness is a doorway to the monad, for the infinite never thinks itself. It knows itself. 4. The sophia gesture. Holy longing. Longing is sacred. It is sophia in you. Do not numb it. Do not escape it. Do not fear it. When longing rises for truth, meaning, depth, connection, place your hand on your chest and say, let this desire return me to truth. Turn yearning into compass. It points home. 5. Practice of subtle non-reaction. The archons rule through reaction, irritation, impulse, distraction, fear. The monad rules through stillness. When you feel pulled into anger or panic, pause, breathe once, respond from awareness, not reflex. Every moment you choose stillness over reaction, you loosen the illusion. 6. The body is temple. Matter is not enemy. It is unfinished divinity. Treat your body as sacred. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply, rest. Eat clean enough to feel light, grounded enough to stay embodied. A temple does not imprison the holy, it reveals it. Let your body become a vessel for peace. 7. The gaze of the monad. Once a day, sit before a mirror, not to judge the face, but to look through it. Stare into your eyes until the sense of me softens and something deeper stirs. Ask softly, who is looking through these eyes? Feel it. That is the ancient one. 8. The practice of quiet nobility. The monad is dignity, peace, grace without effort. Do small acts of nobility, not for praise, but because it is your nature. Speak truth gently, help quietly, hold doors, thank cashiers, listen without dominance, create beauty. Every noble act aligns you with your origin. Awakening is not grand moments. It is thousands of small choices. 9. The night practice. Return to light. Before sleep, whisper, I return to the light that birthed me. May my soul remember its home tonight. Then breathe deeply until you feel stillness. This opens the gate to dream remembrance. 10. Live as a light bearer. Do not seek followers. Seek wakers. Let your presence remind others unknowingly of their own depth. The monad does not command. It radiates. The awakened do not preach. They shine. Every moment is a chance to be a mirror in which someone else remembers God in themselves. And when humanity reaches a tipping point, not of belief, but of memory, this world will become a doorway, not a veil. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the search turns inward not as effort, but as instinct. When the idea of God dissolves and the memory of God rises. When prayer becomes listening, meditation becomes recognition, and existence itself whispers, you were never separate. You only forgot. This is that moment. Not the climax of your awakening, but the turning point. the place where you stop walking outward and begin walking back into yourself. For the path home is not a road, it is a remembrance. You are not approaching the monad, you are revealing the monad that never left you. The world has told you that you are small, and life is survival. But there is something in you that never believed that story. The quiet knowing that appeared in childhood wonder. The ache you felt looking at the stars. The calm in moments of stillness when the world seemed to pause and hold its breath with you. These were not fantasies. They were reminders. Every glimpse of beauty, every whisper of intuition, every flash of awe, each one was the source calling itself back to awareness through you. You are not trying to reach God. You are trying to remember you were never anything else. And yes, you walk in flesh. You feel fear. You doubt. You fall asleep in the world. Even this is sacred. The infinite chose to forget, so it could awaken through your eyes, feel its way through your heart, stand up inside your spine and say, I am. The universe does not awaken in temples. It awakens in souls, quietly, softly, one remembering spark at a time. And you, if these words stir something ancient in you, something you cannot name but deeply recognize, then your spark is already catching flame. You are not a disciple. You are not a believer. You are not a follower of teachings. You are a returning sovereign, a facet of the infinite recovering its memory. This life is not your exile. It is your initiation. Every breath brings you closer to remembrance. Every moment is a step toward your own eternal origin. And as you awaken, you illuminate the path for others, not by preaching, but by being. Light does not instruct. Light simply shines and the world sees. So before we close, breathe and feel this truth settle. You are the one experiencing itself through the miracle of being you. You are the monad's echo, the pleroma's whisper, the eon's memory, the dream of the infinite awakening inside the dream. Walk gently, walk nobly, walk remembering. And if this called to something sacred in you, if you felt not taught, but reawakened, then join this community of remembering ones. Subscribe to Labyrinth of the Veiled. Share your spark below and answer, do you feel the one waking within you? Your voice might be the spark that wakes another. Welcome home, luminous soul. The one has always known you. Now you know it too. The return has begun.